there's so much conversation still going on about who Christian Keys is talking about. So y'all just don't want to believe it. Is that it? Y'all just don't want to believe it? It doesn't take away from a person's accomplishments, what they've done, what they've contributed to society, to the Black community. But we have to stop giving people passes just because they create great music or they create great film, in some of your opinions, because they're great artists. Accountability is accountability. These things I've been hearing about for decades. This is not new. It might be new to you, but this is not new. You all are reaching all over the place. You're talking about Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels not a billionaire. You don't have to go through the other things that Christians spoke about. Lee Daniels is not a billionaire. You can stop right there. Byron Allen is close to being a billionaire, but he's not a billionaire. And if you want to say, okay, well, he could be considered a billionaire, okay, but he had nothing to do with all the Queen's men. Stop all of this reaching. And one of the things that I've talked about before on my live streams, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Oftentimes people who do very heinous things will often follow up with acts of contrition. They'll do something really, really big in a philanthropic kind of way to try to, take your mind off of this devious thing that they've done. We see it all of the time. We see it all the time. It's a distraction. We saw it with R. Kelly. He came out with all of this great music, I Believe I Can Fly, but meanwhile, behind that curtain, he was doing so many horrific things. Choose to believe it or not. But as they say, there was a movie once upon a time called Everything Done in the Dark Comes to Light. I guess it's coming to light. Now, many of you know exactly who he's talking about, as do I. Then there are many of you who really want to pretend that you're in the dark. And then there is a crop of you that really are in the dark. And I'm just like, he didn't give y'all enough context clues. He said he didn't watch the documentary. He said this person is a billionaire. He said that he worked with him on the Queens of, what is it? All it means, men's queens or queens of men, whatever that shit's called, because I don't watch none of that stuff. But, and however, I believe Christian when he says that this happened, because I know my own personal stories. I shouldn't say personal because it didn't happen to me. I do know stories of people close to me where this very thing has happened by this same person. I do think, and I raise a brow, see that brow? I do raise a brow at Christian because I do think that it's very timely. He timed this thing really, really well. I do think that what happened to him is wrong. I do think that it happened, but I think he was, to a degree, okay with it. Not okay that it happened, but he had put it in a place where he had moved on with his life. But given what's happened in recent years with Cassie and all these other people, we're now starting to see people come forward with their stories. It's like, okay, well, let me get my payday too. Pay me for my pain. Some of you just don't want to believe that it happened. And that's okay too. But you got to stop deifying these people. They are people. And some people have propensities.